Oh, you're welcome.
She was passing out snacks.
Where's my popcorn?
I know, right? Be like Wicked, it'd be pink and green. Okay, good evening. It's just after 6. I'm Mark McIntyre, Chairman of the Southampton Village Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation. With me tonight are board members Jane Clare, Kathy Buxton, Susan Stevenson. Nina Edward Anchor is not with us tonight, so sitting in tonight is our alternate, John Gregory, returning as alternate now after spending a little over 3 years as a board member. So with that, we have quorum, so I'm going to move to open the December 9th meeting of the Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also joining are our planning director, Alex Wallach, Alice Cooley, our counsel, our recording secretary, Jackie Allen's in the back, and Sage Certain is running video. So with that, we are underway. The first thing on the agenda are 2-minute approvals. The first one are the minutes from November 19th. Did you guys receive them? Did you have a chance to review them?
Yeah.
Are there any corrections or additions? So I'm going to motion to accept the minutes from November 19th, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm actually going to hold on the minutes from November 25th because I was traveling. I'd like to read through them again before we approve them. Next up, we have 2 written decisions.
Whoa. Approve the calendar.
Oh, I'm sorry, the calendar. In front of you are the 2025 proposed calendar dates. The one suggestion that I have is I would like to remove Monday, August the 25th and Monday, December 22nd. Other than that, I checked all the dates for religious holiday conflict and there are none. Anywhere there was a conflict, like in May, that date was taken off. Does anybody have any thoughts or comments about the dates?
Which one do you want to remove? August?
August 25th, which is the Monday before Labor Day,
Yeah.
and Monday, December 22nd. Christmas week.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas week. Any other thoughts?
I think those are good thoughts.
Okay. Do we need a motion to approve this, Alice? Okay, motion to approve the 25 ARB calendar as presented with the removal of August 25th and December 22nd. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll put those dates on the website.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir?
We'll put those dates up on the website.
Great, I think the first 2 are already up.
I believe so.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. The January dates are on the website.
Yeah, I think the board approved those in advance because we're already taking
We
the
did because we were
applications.
planning meetings into January.
Yep.
Okay, we have 2 adjournment requests tonight, one for 300 North Main Street and one for 270 Ox Pasture Road to January 13th. So motion to approve the adjournment request for 300 North Main and 270 Ox Pasture to January 13th. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, thank
All in
God.
favor?
Aye.
We have no sign requests, no new matters or signs, no demo evaluations, so that takes us to public hearings.
What hap-
Historic?
What happened to the written decisions?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I skip over those?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Would
out
you
of order,
like
I'm
to
sorry.
clear?
So we have 2 written decisions. The first one is for 70 Great Plains Road. Do you want to give us a brief highlight, Alice?
Sure. The first one is in the matter of Mimi and Lauren Reisner. This was for a certificate of appropriateness to construct exterior alterations for a previously approved COA.
Okay. Did you guys receive a copy of the written decision? Any additions or corrections?
Nope.
Questions? Great. So motion to accept the written decision for 70 Great Plains Road. Is there a second?
Second.
And just the voting members on this
The
are
voting members will be
Mark, Jane, and Susan.
and Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll send that down. The next one is for 242 South Main Street LLC for a certificate of appropriateness. Quick highlight, Alice?
This is just a COA for a driveway gate.
Okay. Did you guys receive the written decision? Any questions? Okay. Motion to approve the written decision as written for 242 South Main Street. Is there a second?
Second.
The same 3 voters, all approved?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Susan. Send that down to Alex. Great, okay, that brings us up to public hearings. Historic, 300 North Main has been adjourned, as has 270, so that takes us to 60 Culver Street.
And board members, I believe you should have the report from Zach.
We do.
Good evening, Lori Fontana from McDonough and Conroy Architects. We are here seeking approval to demolish 60 Carver, and I believe Zach had done a report stating that the house was built in 1975.
He did. There are several things that I just would like to put in the record from Zach's report. One is his report shows that the question was, we were not 100% certain from looking at the house of the build year or so, because it's in the historic district, we asked for a report. And the report shows that it was new construction as of 1975. There are things in the interior detailing that's clearly historical in origin, but they were not original to the house. They were brought as part of decoration. There's an 18th century cupboard in there, and looks like a Greek Revival fireplace surround that's in there, mantle that's in there. But none of those are original to the house, therefore I don't see that they have bearing on this as a historic house. And the construction method of the house is consistent with the date of the house, and no evidence was observed of an earlier building having been integrated or incorporated into the structural fabric of the house. So, for that reason, I am going to motion that we move to written decision to approve a demo certificate of appropriateness for 60 Culver Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. We
No
just
problem.
needed to
Happy
do our
holidays,
timing
all.
for- Same to you. Okay, that takes us to carryover matters non-historic. The first one being 1750 Waterview LLC at 1750 Meadow Lane. Good evening.
Good evening, members of the board.
If you would introduce yourselves again, please, for the record.
Sure. Michael Lamont, 16 Peconic Hills Court, Southampton. I'm a senior partner at Stell Lamont Rahani Architects in Bridgehampton.
Okay.
I'm Frank Attard from
Can
Stella.
you move those,
Lamont
slide
Architects.
those microphones down toward
Oh,
you?
sorry. Frank Attard from Stella Lamont Rawani Architects.
Great, thank you.
The owner, to begin with, the owner is on Zoom and would like to introduce herself briefly.
Okay,
Oh, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
we can.
Oh, hi. My name is Lou Lang. I just wanted to say a quick hi and to thank everyone for, reviewing our application. Just wanted to give a brief background. You may have seen my husband and my son at the meeting last week. We've been homeowners, I think, for about 14 years now. And we're really excited to create a new home. Our vision is to have we look at this as more like a multi-generational home. We're lucky that both sets of grandparents are still around, and we have 3 boys. And we're hoping that this is going to, last us a lifetime, and we'll also down the road host our grandkids at some point. We're just really grateful to be able to create something. And with that, I'll just, one other thing I just want to mention, we really love the beachy feel. And so that's why we're removing the lawn, and we want to restore, we're working with LaGuardia, our landscape architects, to create, to restore the native vegetation. So we're really pleased to be able to do that. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to Michael. Thank you, Michael.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay,
Okay, so just briefly, just to sort of a little bit of a recap, we have unanimous ZBA approval for this project. Both neighbors provided their support. There are no neighbors to the north along Meadow Lane. We're more than 600 feet from the foot of the dunes. The dune elevation rises to about elevation 16 along the south side of the property, and the main floor of the proposed structure cannot be seen from the beach. At our last meeting, the demolition of the existing structure was approved. So we're proposing to replace the existing non-FEMA compliant dilapidated structure that has been prone to flooding on the east side with the new home. As Lou Lang mentioned, all the existing lawn and invasive vegetation will be replaced with native landscaping, creating more drought, flood-tolerant landscape, increased biodiversity. We've also compiled an extensive list of similar oceanfront houses along Meadow Lane, which we submitted, and with our last submission, many of the houses on smaller lots, more visible from the street, ocean, and neighboring properties. We identified recent examples, included a glazing analysis where many of these homes exceed what is being proposed. We'd like to start with the requested changes, which we feel address your concerns, and can review these other examples afterwards if beneficial. Okay. So starting with the North Meadow Lane side.
Oh, hang on. Let me see this, okay.
I don't know, can you guys see that okay?
I can zoom in.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just talk about the one elevation at a time. So that's the north side facing Meadow Lane. So some of the changes that we've done since the first application is that we changed the front door to a solid door, removed the glass there. We changed the side door to a solid door as well. We also removed the skylight that ran along the corridor that was visible from the front, from the edge of the living room down the hall. Just have the one in the living room and the one on the other side. Working our way around the east side, which is at the bottom. We eliminated, there was a glass panel adjacent to the one that's on the left side, so in this application, that has been eliminated and turned to solid. Working our way around to the south side. So the south side, what we decided to do, we introduced the solid panel between the kitchen and the living room, which is on the bottom left, and then carried up a louvered rain screen above that, breaking the glass between the living room and the upstairs, the living room downstairs and the upstairs living room and the kitchen below. We did the same, and we actually have, after we look at this elevation, we have a comparative elevation looking at the original elevation and the proposed elevation, which you can see the changes side by side. So we also added the horizontal piece. There's a solid piece on the bedroom starting to face east, and then another louvered panel that continues that on that side. We have also, when we look at the, we have the calculations for the glass reductions, but we can finish this. And then moving our way over to the west side. The west side, we also removed the glass door going into the downstairs sort of side hall. We reduced the size of the window in the into the kitchen, and we eliminated a full-height glass panel and moved the wall of the second floor back, reducing about 60 or so square feet of the house, lining the corners of the building and removing that glass piece that was up there on that corner. So I think looking at the comparative elevation with the, you can sort of see the front and the back. The some of the glass figures, the net glass reduction, which is we think, I guess just to sort of finish up that, I think that the we think that these comments or these changes addressed a lot of the concerns we heard in the last two meetings. And we actually feel that these changes improve the overall elevation, give a lot more balance when you look at the elevation on the bottom and then the elevation on the top. The gross square footage of glass reduction, it was about a 310, not including the skylight reduction on the roof. It was about a 310 square feet of glass reduction since the first application.
Okay. Board members?
For me, the east and west view, I think, are fine, and I think you've made changes that are appropriate to mitigate some of the potential light pollution issues. The north view, I just have one question, wondering if you could help reduce the glass by carrying that railing that's on the left side of the house all the way through to that first corner before it is a setback. I think that would do a lot to really reduce the appearance of the glass house from the street. And other than that, I think that from my perspective, the south view is less of an issue because of the recessed placement of the glass itself. The eaves are very deep here, and considering there's no potential view from the ocean into this house, I think, I mean, from my perspective, that's less of an issue compared to some of the other homes we've approved in the vicinity that would have had the same type of issue. Again, my only concern then is that extending that railing, right, is that like a shadow box or louvered railing?
Let's pull that up.
And by the way, these are so helpful in really visualizing the house. The drawings, of course, we have to have, but this really helps make a difference.
Yeah, I think a couple of things we talked about at the last meeting also was that we're proposing using a SunGuard SN68, which we like to use on our projects because it's a 30% reduction in visible light transmittance, so it's a high quality, certainly high performance glass, and then having wood ceilings inside as well, so the reflectivity of the light will be greatly reduced with having wood ceilings on the first floor and the second floor, and then the deep overhangs which you mentioned, which we think all will increase to, you know, lowering the overall presence of the.
Yeah, so again, from my perspective, I watched the meeting last week as well, so I'm familiar with the proposal. And I have less of an issue with the south elevation. I think it's fine based on those things we've discussed. I would just like to see the front just change that one little element that I think would have a substantial impact on the presence of the glass on the front of the house. And that's all I have.
I actually think that you did a good job of listening to us and making it less of a glass box. So thank you. I don't care about extending whatever it's a railing, is that correct? A fence, a kind of louvered something. But I do think that, I still think, you know, I wouldn't just pick it out because I still think it's got a lot of glass, but I think you made an effort in ways that are smart and that actually do affect how much light is going to be reflected out of the glass box. So I've got no objections at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just a technical question. We seem to have lost our signal.
Oh, hello.
Is this on my end or?
No.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Today there was no electricity in this building because a squirrel chewed through the wire. So no complaints. I'm not kidding. There was a dead squirrel.
That's crazy.
That's what they told you.
No, they were all over the place trying to get everything up and running.
I just wanted to show you that.
There we go. Well
Way
done.
back?
Yep.
John, which railing were you discussing?
See the railing on the second floor, well,
Well, there we
to the
go.
left.
Over here?
Yeah, I think carrying that over to the other side of the house, up until the point where the design recesses into the,
Underhang.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Overhang.
that's not if this is what you're talking about. This is not railing. This is, oh geez. Well, you saw it for a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
try to
whatever-
remember it.
whatever that,
Sorry.
There we go.
There we go.
Technology's against
It
us.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. This is a rain screen siding. This is not a railing, if that's what you're talking about.
yes, that would
Okay.
be what I'm talking about, yes.
Okay. As part of the wall, basically.
And it's back. So quickly. So, and on the other side, the windows that go down that have the glass in front of them on the right-hand side, those are floor to ceiling windows?
Correct. That's the upstairs dining room.
Correct. Okay.
But I don't want it to be so symmetrical, those things. I like how it is.
Okay.
Like,
Kathy, Jane?
Yeah, I
Gets
think
more
you
corporate.
definitely did a great job in changing things to make a difference. I do think that, I agree with John where he's saying maybe there should be a little bit more of a carryover there, but I understand that's not a balcony or a railing, that's part of the facade, so I understand you can't do that. I think it's looking pretty good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Me too, yeah.
Okay.
Much agree with that.
so can we vote?
Okay.
I'm ready to approve it.
Well, you've made that clear.
Okay.
All right, are there any comments from the public? Okay. First of all, thank you, because I actually think you did address the comments that we've had in the last two meetings. I understand John's point and what he's looking at from my perspective. because it sets back there and we're going at the dining room there. The lack of balance, I think, is actually interesting, so from my perspective, I don't have an issue with it. I think you've done a nice job reducing. I think it's appropriate to land, and what John said is correct, where, versus other houses, we're sort of commensurate now with other projects we've learned, and I appreciate the front door being solid, and that's sort of my take on it. So with that, I am going to motion to approve the plans for 1750 Watermill LLC for drawings
Waterview.
dated,
What?
Waterview.
Waterview for drawings dated, do I have a stamp date or submit date?
December 3rd?
Yeah, it's
Dece- okay,
stamped December.
Stamped
but-
December 3rd, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate all your
Listen, we
help.
appreciate it, and we
Thank you
appreciate.
so much.
Oh, thank
We're
you.
really
Listen,
grateful. Thank you.
thank you, and thank you for being here. And also, listen, we appreciate that you've taken the time, you've heard the comments, you've come back and you've addressed them. It matters. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for all the work that you do for Southampton.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you.
You too.
Wow.
Okay, so that takes
Moving
us
along.
moving along to 64 Woolley Street.
Okay. Does this thing have enough green on this?
Okay, if you will introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Good evening, board members. I'm Michael Kirschman from Michael Kirschman Architecture, representing 64 Woolley Street LLC. Appreciate your time and consideration for this application this evening. And so I want to thank you for the feedback on the design that we submitted last month. We carefully reviewed your concerns, and we hope that our approach tonight addresses your expectations for the property. And understanding, too, that we're trying to work with an older home, a 100-year-old home, and there are new codes, 88 codes, building code, zoning standards, that we ask that you work along with us with this application. So I'll go through it pretty quickly on the, primarily some of the main things that we looked at last time, and I'll focus mostly on the west elevation or the front elevation of the home. In the new revised drawing, we have the front porch has been reintroduced into the project. It will be rebuilt, replicate the original design, ensuring continuity with the character of the existing home. We have also added railings that emulate the existing railings. These new railings would be to code. They're shown here, and they'll be flanking at the ends. We have also eliminated a center second-story window that we introduced the last time. And as mentioned, the window replacements, or the windows are a replacement of existing, so those will match in configuration as close as possible. We would like to draw your attention to one thing that we've done, and hoping that the board can work along with us here, is there is a vestibule bump out in the front. It's hard to see in the drawings. It's probably a little bit easier to see. No, it's not even easier to see in the photos, but it's approximately 6 feet by 3 feet vestibule bump out here. Whoa, why am I upside down?
You have to face us with the
What's-
picture.
Didn't last time we were
doesn't
supposed to
matter.
do it the other way?
Yeah, well,
Okay, I've got to get which hemisphere I'm working in here.
if you aim the picture toward us, I think
Yeah.
that's where the camera is tonight.
Facing us.
No, the
The
picture,
the photo?
yeah,
Yeah,
just aim it
that's
toward us.
Okay. Well, that's,
Other way.
Facing
Sorry,
you?
well, we're
Facing
going
you.
around the other way again now. Back around.
Sorry. They
Oh, they
changed,
changed it.
they changed it.
Yeah, face yourself.
Face
Face
yourself.
yourself now.
We told you the wrong thing.
No, because last
Yeah.
week it was facing us.
Used
All
to
right.
be-
my
It's
psychologist
the
tells
easy
me,
way.
face myself.
There we go.
That's better, and now, and face myself.
Facing
So
yourself.
could you point
Okay,
that out?
all right,
Sage, just work this out for us. It's all working.
there we go.
Okay?
That any, there we go. Okay, so, and you can see in the revised rendering here, what we have done, there is a vestibule bump out, and we ask that what we are doing essentially, What happened now? Who was that?
It's so
We got some-
fabulous.
We got some
Just
balloons.
It's
came
like,
up on the
art,
screen.
you
Go
know,
ahead.
oh,
Oh.
that's fabulous. That's so good.
I didn't see that, but
Well,
it must
good.
have been good.
Where,
Um,
so there's, on the proposed west, just while we have a pause,
Yes.
is there a little porch thing that we're not seeing on the rendering there?
It's not a
That's
porch,
all?
it's a bump out, it's a bump out on the vestibule, you could see it here, it's existing here. And what we've done in this case, to work along with the revised floor plan, is we have mirrored it. We've taken this door and window combination and essentially flipped it. I mean, that's what we've done in this case. So the elements still exist, we're just mirroring it in kind.
And the reason for that is?
It just,
It's dictated by the interior.
it's dictated by the interior and how the driveway works.
Okay,
It's
I just,
like, I don't want to get into
You're
it,
actually moving
like,
the front door closer to the driveway.
it actually doesn't work that way. No, we have moved it farther away from the driveway.
Oh, your driveway's going to
the
the other side
opposite.
from this picture.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
And so that's the changes there. But essentially, we feel that it emulates the existing home. And by the way, I just want to add, I know it's probably insignificant, but we did research that vestibule bump out and the front door, and it was definitely an addition to the existing home. It has no foundation under it. It was tacked onto the home. Even the interior trims and the finishes are different than the existing home interior-wise. Okay, let me go to the north elevation, where we had where there were concerns about. Is that me?
sorry, that was me.
Oh. Yeah, the concerns on the north elevation, which we felt we took care of, is we eliminated the metal roofing where we had it. That was one of the concerns at the top, so you could see here, there was metal roofing. There was a metal roofing skirt that came into the addition here. We eliminated that. We realigned the floor, so there is no differentiation between the proposed second floor and the proposed first floor. Therefore, we have a straight wall in that case. We still have a small metal roof in the back covering that proposed porch. But essentially, we have eliminated the metal roofing on the additions to the home. And we just made a small adjustment to this little portico, this little roof here. One last thing is we did add mullions on all the doors that are in the same family of mullions with the provider in this case, which is I'm sorry, yeah. Do I have my drawings on this one? It's the same family of mullions as the windows, so they do match, even though the drawings don't look exact. You can see that on this proposed east elevation in the back. We have added those mullions, which were in question last time in that proposed east elevation. You could see as well is that we eliminated the metal roofing at the top here, and all the roofing is cedar as opposed to asphalt shingle, which exists today. We will re-roof the whole house in cedar and the additions as well. And then finally, on the south elevation, there was very little metal roofing here. There was a skirt that went across that separated the floors. We have eliminated that now, and we have left, just a one flush wall that will continue first to second floor. And finally, on the garage, we again reintroduced those mullions that match all the windows of the renovation and the proposed windows that we have. And that, other than the site plan, there are some small changes there, but I don't know if we want to get into those unless the board wants me to go through those. And why don't I have it here? That's this plan. Yeah, I'll go through it. One of the significant things here is that just for safety, we have eliminated the areaways that were along here. This one is far back enough, but we have introduced them towards the front of the house. They will be hidden behind landscaping, and they're going to be flush. We're not going to have railings above them, so that porch structure that we're introducing here will stand on its own, and those areaways would be to the side of the house, and they'll be just covered grills. And those are the changes that we made.
Okay. Board members.
Okay, I have a few things that I just need clarity on. On the west elevation, you show at least in the description, a solid wooded tree door, although it looks like, you have lights or a paint glass in the top half? Is that, am I looking at it the wrong way, or is that just
No,
the design of the door?
No, it is correct. The rendering shows it. It's a half light door.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, the rendering shows it correctly.
So just to be consistent, the description you may want to
Okay,
adjust that.
sure.
On the architectural drawing.
Yeah,
I'm better safe than sorry, right?
sure.
On the north elevation, all right, actually the north and in the east, you, again, in the description for the flat roof, the metal roof, so the color's going to be Benjamin Moore Monterey white, so the metal roof's going to be painted white, or is it going to be metal color?
It is I have the color. The color, if you look at the color actually in the rendering, the metal roof will match all this trim. It's all going to be one color trim. It won't be white, and I do have the color over there if you want to see it.
Okay, that's
It's an
fine.
off-white
Where
coconut.
is, I thought we removed all the metal.
Just
Where-
on the back.
On the back porch roof, it's going to be a metal roof that will match all the trims. Right.
It's light?
Yeah, I have a sample.
I have one more question for you. On the original portion, it's a very stately house. I think it's really cool design as it stands. And I'm glad you're, continuing that same feel with the addition. But on the front part, the original part there, the dentals that run along the roof line, the freeze board,
Yes.
and I don't see those on the addition. Is that purposeful?
On the, yeah, I think it was intentional to differentiate this is the existing home versus here's the addition.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Yes, yeah. We're going to try as hard as we can to preserve those dentals. I mean, they're unique.
Thank you.
So on the east elevation is where we're gonna find this metal roof?
It's covering the porch,
Mm-hmm.
correct.
And I need to see,
It's painted, it's white. It's not like a metal color.
Yeah, I have a sample there. I just
Could you
forgot to
show
bring
it
it. Sure.
it have to be gray. So there's, I don't think I could go along with the white metal roof. I just couldn't.
Okay.
I can hardly go along with the metal roof, as you well know. But that just seems to accentuate the thing that's such an aggressive.
If it were street facing, it might be a different issue, but in this case, I think from my perspective.
Really, well, from my perspective, metal roofs don't really have much to say.
I want to say thank you because you definitely put the house back as far as I can tell with the porch. You're maintaining the original porch. My question is, why gravel and then geoblock? Why not geoblock all the way up? Is it on the driveway? I'm confused as to you have geoblock in the front of the house, gravel driveway, and then geoblock in
Okay.
the back.
Let me just get on so I see what you're talking about in the site plan. Okay. Yeah, okay, so you're saying geoblock here,
Right. Then a gravel driveway on the side,
correct.
and then in the back, behind the gates, you have geoblock again.
Correct.
I was just curious, why make that gravel? Because,
Well, I feel that the gate is a separation between front yard and rear yard. I think that the gravel driveway will get a little bit more use than this geoblock in the back. I like the geoblock in principle. It looks a lot better in renderings and photos and, perspective things, and it does actually perform in reality. So I'm just saying, as an architect that's practical, I like to I would like a more substantial material that, in the driveway that would, be more robust and
makes
hold
sense.
up the cars.
So really for the backside, it's really more of a landscaping issue than anything
Yeah.
to keep it.
Exactly.
green
It's
as
more of a
possible.
transition point where I do think,
I'd love for you to remove the parking for 2 cars in the front of the house, because you can park on that street on the road.
No, they can't. You have, the parking is required by code. You have to be able to park X number of cars
Well,
without
how many
moving more than
how
that.
many bedrooms do we have here?
it's 6, so, I've gone,
Yes.
yeah, I've gone through this with
We've already done
Yeah.
this.
the building inspector.
The-
I wouldn't mind it either, but I need to have it.
Yeah, that's a,
Yeah.
can we go back to the roof again, because I
Oh,
didn't know.
I'll be there in one sec. Kathy?
No,
They have to
I was
have 5 on-site
interrupted.
parking spaces, and they can't move more than 1 car.
Right.
Comments?
No, I'm happy with it. I don't even mind the metal in the back.
Here's where I come out on the whole thing. I think, first of all, thank you. I think the removal of that 5th window on the 2nd floor put the remaining character back in the front, and I think those side peplum roofs that were going down the side of the house were, by simplifying, I think you've made the house look grander. The only comment that I would have is that, the reason we do, the standing seam was really, well, it was originally a metal roof, and they were often copper, or they were often leaded copper. So the only comment that I have is I think the trim color is great, but I think if the roof could be like the same color, you can aluminum
Sure.
that mimics leaded copper
Sure.
and not stand out so much, I would appreciate that.
I was 51% one, 49% the other, and you're in
So
my
we just
49%.
We just move you to 51?
I have no lead coated copper for me is, or that color.
Yeah.
It would probably be painted.
And it's more typical to what you'd see in our neighborhoods.
That's fine. Sure.
Okay. Do I have any comments from the public? Any hands up? Okay. So I will reiterate thank you, because I think in pulling it back and pulling up and listening to the board and simplifying the roof over the north elevation and taking it back to the original intent of the house has really made a big difference here. So with that, I'm going to motion to approve the drawings, to approve the project for 64 Willing Street from drawings stamped December 3rd, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Nay.
Thank you for not calling it.
Okay, so that brings us to 130 Powell Avenue. Hang on, I have to make one change to that. We have to do it again. Because I didn't stipulate changing the roof to lead-coated copper color.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna,
say painted to match lead coated copper?
no, I want you to use the metal that is lead-coated copper in those standing seam roofs. So let's go back, motion to reopen 64 Woolley Street. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So motion to approve 64 Woolley Street from drawings dated
December 3rd.
December 3rd, with the stipulation that the metal roof of the back be changed from white to a metal gray color matching leaded copper. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So I caught that, Alice, before you yelled at me.
I was going to, but I was too busy laughing.
What?
I was busy laughing.
Oh.
Sorry.
130 Powell.
Yes, hello, hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Chairman and members of the board, good evening. We're here, my name is Daniel Gomes, representing 130 Powell Avenue.
Could you spell your last name for me?
Yes, G-O-M-E-S.
Okay,
And
great,
the
thank you.
homeowners are on Zoom if necessary, if I can't answer any questions, they will.
Okay.
We were here last, couple of weeks ago for the ARB, and we had a concern that the major concern, we have 3 changes today. The primary concern was the proximity of the front door to the garage door. There was a bump out near the garage door, that was the previous entry. We decided to move that from Powell and decided to do a side entry. That'll alleviate the proximity from the front door to the garage. We also created a portico entry, that would be the west elevation. So that'll dictate the entry. That'll have a matching cedar roof, the portico, and the columns will also match the weird covered porch in the back, so we'll have a little bit of symmetry throughout the residence. That was the major concern from the hearing last time, but we also did 2 other changes. We changed the garage doors from a stained mahogany. We changed that to a white carriage style front door from the same brand, Clopay. It'll just be a painted white. I have that picture here for reference. And the front door, instead of a painted mahogany, or stained mahogany, is going to be a painted dove gray to match the mullion bars from Anderson. So the front door will have the dove gray color that matches it's a pre-manufactured color from the Anderson 400 series, A series. Those are the 3 changes from the previous.
Hang on.
Like I said, the major one being that front door change to the side entry. That really changed the, we revised the site plan as well, showing.
Yep. Well,
We also have new corresponding renderings as well. It's basically our entry now. Used to go in from here, and now we're going from a entry on this house. That portico addition, I guess our new side entry will also have a bluestone patio to match the bluestone patio in the covered porch at the rear yard.
hang on. So this is the one where the garage was, the door was sucked up right against the garage, right?
Correct, yes.
Now,
But now you moved to the side.
let's see what this, here's the element. What's this?
Yeah, the previous application, we had a bump out for the entry right in proximity to the garage door. So instead of trying to maneuver around, we brought it to the side.
Did you see it on the side?
Yeah, here's, okay.
That's where the entry is now original on the existing house.
Yeah. I don't find the change to the side doors successful, but let me throw it to the board members for comment. Board members.
It's almost incomprehensible.
So, this is the new site plan, correct?
Last time we were here, the issue that we had is that the front doors butted right up against the garage and there's no distance, so their answer was to move the front door from facing the street around facing the side of the house.
Right. Well, but then the garage is literally in the front.
The garage is in the front, the door facing sideways. Board members.
Well, I don't think that would be a good idea, do you?
Yeah,
For the street, for the neighbors, for how the street looks?
Board members.
From my perspective, being fairly consistent with pretty much every property in the village that I can think of, front door faces the street. And I think what this does...
This home originally...
Let me finish.
Sorry.
And with the current plan, the door change makes the placement of the windows a bit cattywampus. There's the size of the windows along with the alignment, first floor, second floor, is a bit interesting. And I think the biggest issue with changes like this is it creates a house that's perpendicular to the street and not vertical to, or horizontal to the street as most village homes are.
Especially on a street that's not very big.
So that's at a minimum what I have at the moment.
I would agree with that, and we really do frown
Yes.
upon the garage being the
Well, that we
the
can't
focal
do.
point of the front of the home, rather than the front door, entryway.
Well, what
Well, the garage would kind of be hidden behind landscaping
No.
as the driveways,
No.
Go there.
like as it is right now, the existing home, the entry is on that left-hand side.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah.
He's
Sorry,
not-
I'm Adrian Pivulin, the homeowner. Sorry I couldn't be there today.
Adrian, what?
This is my Adrian Pivulin, Pervuhin.
Yeah, just in general, landscaping, as far as our concern, is meant to enhance the property or build out what might be consistent with the neighborhood. I never look at landscaping as being a way to hide imperfections in
Okay.
a
I
design.
didn't.
So,
You know,
We can't hear.
we can't hear you. Are you muted?
We can't hear you.
Oh,
and-
you
and-
have you're sharing earbuds?
Yeah.
Okay, you must have the mic earbud.
And we would ask you to introduce yourself as well, please.
Hi, my name's Catherine Toscano, Toscano. I was just saying we were trying to keep with the original house, and it's a very narrow lot, so that's also why we decided to put the garage up front and make it look more like part of the house rather than a garage. And then we wanted to change the front entry to the front so that, you know, keeps like the village and all of that. But I know last meeting you guys said it was the proximity of the garage was a little too close, so that's why we decided to go back to the original house where the entry is currently on the side. But I do understand that front entry it makes sense. But maybe, I mean, do you have another suggestion? Like if we were to slide the garage back a little bit, would that help?
Well,
So what's the original garage? What is this proposed cabana pool house? Was the garage one of those in the back in this property?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it was an old
Uh-huh.
dilapidated garage.
where it says frame shed, was that the
Right.
original garage?
Yes.
Right. So much like the house we just saw, the garage was freestanding
In the very back of the
in the
property.
very back of the property. Maybe you need to go back to that, I don't know, because this is not good, the way it is now.
When historically, it's funny because they actually took this out of the code, but what you have right now is a pre-existing non-conforming garage that's somewhere you could not put it now,
Correct.
because now it would have to be off. But
it's worth saving.
in that what you're calling a
Exactly.
frame shed,
That
I
was
think
my
your real
point.
answer is to take the front. When you go down the village, we're a friendly village, and when you drive down the street, people like to know where the front door is when they go in, and that's the front door is generally, you know, there are a few exceptions over the years, but the front door generally changes the street. It makes the house more presentable to the street. So I think what we're trying to do is solve a garage problem by moving the door, and I don't think that's particularly successful. I think your most successful answer would be to take the garage off the front. If I were you, because we just had one of these on Hunting, that the same thing, they had a pre-existing non-conforming garage, which is a blessing right now because you can't build them that way now unless they're pre-existing and you happen to have one. I think what you may want to look is if there's a way you can configure your yard where you take advantage of that frame shed and make that your garage. And then take the garage off the front of the house, and then the front of the house, because the rest of the house it's quite a handsome house and it presents well. We're just solving a front door problem, and our problem has been the front door was too close to the garage, and the problem is now to the side, it looks wonky to the street is what you're hearing from the board. So it seems to me that to be more architecturally harmonious to the neighborhood, having the door face the street is more appropriate than what we would typically see. And if you can take advantage of that frame shed as the garage space, then because you've got a long, narrow place you can go down with, and you still have plenty of room back there for the pool. And you can play with a little bit in your accessory structures about a proposed pool house. But I think that's probably the answer.
Well, and in doing that, you could actually move the house up and create even more space in your backyard to change the placement of the pool as it relates to
true.
the garage,
Mhm.
to.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can actually
Yeah.
open up your
Yeah, we have
backyard.
that, I think,
Yeah, by
we
sliding the
have
house
that.
forward goes, what,
Mhm.
12 feet?
Yeah, we just have to
9
concern
feet.
ourselves with the new septic system, but yeah, we
Yeah.
can definitely shift the house frontwards to.
Because I actually
have some
think
more
that
space in
solves
the
two
back.
problems for you. It gives you more backyard, which is what everybody wants. and more space in the back, and it opens you up to more design opportunity in the backyard, and it takes advantage of something that you have that most people don't.
Are you allowed to add on to an existing non-conforming structure?
Yeah.
Only if it conforms with code,
With code.
or if it receives a variance to do so.
So, I mean, depending on that, it might give you an option to create like a pool house kind of accessory.
Because, I would tell you, other than trying to solve this garage problem, the house itself, I think you've done a very, very nice job. It's just we have this one design element that's causing you a conundrum.
Yeah, I guess I would have to look into the zoning, just due to the existing shed depth is 18.1. Ideally, we want 20 feet for the depth of a garage, so we would add to the front of that. So I would have to see if that would trigger any zoning variances.
And the drive can be remedied. I mean, the house that just was presented before this one had that, what was the stone called with the grass?
Geoblock.
Geoblocking that actually makes that drive part of your yard, more or less.
So we did think about keeping the existing. We thought that maybe you guys wouldn't want that, which is one of the reasons we didn't go in that direction. But also because Powell's a bit of a busy street, so we thought putting the garage up front would add a little bit of a buffer to the house as well. And then we were also looking to preserve more of the backyard and hug the pool and the pool house and then have all the grass on the other side. So we thought that having a garage in the back would actually lose more of the yard, which is why we went in the direction that we went in, just giving you some backstory on it.
That's understandable.
I hear your thinking. But even if you split the distance and move the house forward, I think that's going to be, because right now I'm hearing that you don't have support from the board the way it currently is with your door configuration, and that seems to me the best solution to your problem.
We could try it and see. It just would change a lot of stuff. That was the other. And then, like I said, just the busyness of the road. We didn't want the bedrooms and stuff on the street as well. We have kids, so we were just kind of looking to push the house back a bit further so it wasn't as noisy.
Okay. Well, you've heard the concerns from the board. Are there any comments from the public? Okay. Do you think you can take a swing and be ready by January 13th?
I think so, yes.
Okay. That's pretty far, as it gives you a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's plenty. Yeah, we made this deadline.
We got a holiday. We got a holiday in the middle.
Is there another meeting before or no? Just
No,
that's the next one.
because of the holidays.
Holidays
it's
get in the
not.
way.
Okay. And Sage, I'm assuming there's no hands up? Okay.
Is there a deadline for the submission for this next year?
Yes.
Thursday before.
Alex?
Yes, so the deadline for the January 13th meeting would be January 7th at noon. Digital and hard copy to the building department.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, board.
Thank you. So I'm, motion to, January 13th is good for you? Motion to accept the applicant's request for an adjournment for 130 Powell Street to January 13th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good evening. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that is the end of some notes. Now we're up to new matters, non-historic. The first one is 121 Lee Avenue to enlarge an existing sunroom.
I couldn't find one. I know what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
But same house. Over and over again.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello again.
Hi.
If you'll introduce yourself and spell your last name for me.
Hi, I'm Erica Jimian, Erica Jimian Architects. My last name is
Put that mic.
Ajemian. I'm here for 121 Lee Avenue, and I have the homeowners with me behind me.
And the homeowners' names are?
Stephen Markov, M-A-R-K-O-V. Jeff Molesky, M-E-L-E-S-K-I.
Great, thank you. Okay.
Mark, we have affidavits and they're in order.
Great, thank you. Okay.
So, the owners bought this house about 2 years ago, and when they bought it, the pool was connected. It was 1 foot from the sunroom, existing sunroom.
Easy access, right?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Or death.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was kind of a tight sunroom. So they have actually moved the pool to the back of the house. It looks quite nice, and now we would like to enlarge the sunroom and also add a mudroom kind of everyday entrance and a half bath for access to the pool. With the design of the house, we've recently renovated. The house was a yellow stucco, and it had some not great details.
Yes,
So-
it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It had everything, that's absolutely true.
So we've added some detail back. We've added corner board or recessed corner boards and new casings around the windows, shutters, whatnot. And for the addition, we want to use the exact same details. We're using the same sort of window size. So we're just trying to make it a continuation of the house, so it looks like it was always there. We're adding about 300 square feet to the house from that.
I think it looks better with the addition because
Yeah.
it's
More
It's
proportioned.
in your face.
Yeah.
I think it's it's what was done before really was a remarkable transformation, let's put it that way. And I think the addition softens the upright boldness, although even the gates are bold, everything is bold. So I think it softens the house, which is nice. So
Thank you.
I think it's okay if it's zoning appropriate.
I'll let the board members know that it did receive a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals for setbacks.
By how much?
I'd have to double check the exact dimensions,
It's
but I
not
believe
in
it was
here.
a side.
I'm interested in the
it-
variances.
I'll
Sorry.
find it for you.
Actually,
It was
the
a side yard
variance, the
variance.
truth about the variance was, it was okay on the sides.
Yeah,
The house was actually built too close to the road,
uh-huh,
and we had a
Okay.
variance for it, so.
forget it.
And it's,
Oh, it-
and the-
Okay, because I just,
So
if
it-
it's
yeah.
width-wise and there are neighbors, then I would have liked to know, because that's a different,
Yeah.
then maybe your
But you didn't
sunroom
need a
couldn't be
variance
so
for the
big,
for the
you know,
width.
that's-
yeah, we
I'm
didn't.
taking all that away. I like what you did. I think it softens the look of the house. How's that? And it's appropriate.
I just have one question. The renderings, the deck over the addition, the new
Oh.
addition, I don't see any doors or windows
Maybe
that would
they
make
don't
me
have
believe
them.
is that for accessible, the roof, or?
It is accessible, it's not gonna be used, but
How do you get there?
there's a
It's easy.
door on the
Yeah,
second floor. too.
how do you get out there? That's,
Yeah,
There's a door from each
For each-
guest bedroom.
yeah.
and it's currently a terrace as well, correct?
Yeah. It is currently,
And it looks
accessible.
out, how far away is the neighbor?
That's, I mean, our only concern is always the
The
privacy of
neighbor,
of
not
neighbors.
your, not your
Neighbors did
private.
write a
Oh,
letter.
It's not your privacy.
They did write a letter of support.
Yeah.
This is the existing, that was where the pool was.
Yeah.
That's where you could die in the pool.
Oh
So
my
that's-
God,
That's
it's
so
incredible.
crazy.
On the adjoining
So
property
it's
is,
been moved here.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I see no issue with.
So I see. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I can't find my documents. I looked at them and then I don't know what I did with them. Like your house
Jane,
only.
Kathy?
Yeah, I think it definitely adds a better balance to the uprightness of the existing.
It's not yellow.
Let's just
No,
start there.
I think the,
Actually, inside.
I think it's size, balance, location's all appropriate, and picking up the architectural details from the original structure is great. Are there any comments from the public?
While we wait, I can confirm that it was a front yard variance from 80 feet to 61.9 feet, and a total side yard variance from 60 feet to 50.5. So it was not any one side yard, but it was the total side yard.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So then I'm going to motion to approve to approve 121 Lee Avenue from drawings stamped July 22nd, 2024. Is that right? We had these a long time?
Probably because they went to the zoning board for
We went to the
Okay, from
variance.
drawings
We
dated
changed.
July 22nd, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Thank you. Seeing you, gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to 60 Breeze Lane.
Get down.
Do you have the affidavits and are they in order?
Yes, I do, and they are.
Thank you.
Oh, here it is. These are-
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sean Leonard, the architect for the applicant. I also have the homeowner is here as well. She moved over.
You moved all the way from the back.
Well, I didn't want to be in front of him.
Oh. Okay.
So we are here for three things. One is along the front of the house that faces, because this is a corner lot, so it faces both Breeze and Edwards. This property has also been to the ZBA, one for the location of the swimming pool, and the other was for the an addition on the back of the house that was 3 feet by 5 feet that was in the setback. So we're talking about 15 square feet that was in the side yard setback. Both of which was all before the neighbors. The neighbors were all very much in favor of
Right.
the things that we're doing. The first is the front porch is a small little covered porch at the moment, and we're looking to extend that porch out so that it would go in front of the living room. So it would give them a front porch of about 5 feet by 18 feet. They have a little place to sit that would face Breeze. The other is, as I mentioned, there's an addition on the back, which is 3 feet by the length of the house, so it's about 55 feet long by 3 feet. And that was just so that we would be able to give enough room. It's a 3-bedroom ranch. The kitchen is a little bit small. This would made for a better layout for the kitchen, as well as it gave them a better primary bedroom and primary bath. And then the last thing is a pool house that would be placed in the back. And the pool house would also be similar to the house. It would have a hip roof, shingle, asphalt shingle roof, and similar siding and windows.
Can you take us through materials, color, any changes?
So the roof right now is a gray asphalt shingle roof, so the new roof would also still be an asphalt shingle roof in a color gray, very similar to what's up on the house now. The house right now is gray in color with the black windows, and the siding that would be on the house would be very similar. The pool house would also be sided to match the house with the...
So there are new windows in the house, am I correct?
That is correct. Yes, the house has been renovated.
So were you in front of this board during the renovation? This is the first, I get this mixed up because I was...
So all it was this house, there's no windows in the front of the house, but they're in the same location as where the windows were. So it was just a replacement of windows in kind.
Okay.
So that was done before your...
Well, they went to the building inspector. He decided that because it was just an in-kind
If it's the
replacement,
same,
that he granted it.
Oh, that's
So
a new
it-
strategy.
Yeah, it didn't come in front of us, yeah.
Yeah.
that happens occasionally.
Well, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flat windows.
Okay, so
I-
we're extending a porch.
Because I worked on the variances now that look so familiar, I couldn't figure out what was the difference. But they did keep it as a ranchy.
Yeah,
In a place where that's not happening.
Right, and that's...
Looks like my first house.
So the owners have no intentions on making this
I
into
think it's
anything
cool.
other
I
than
like that house.
big
Yeah.
house. They wanted to keep it as a ranch. They wanted to keep it low in scale.
You should do a public service announcement.
I drove by it today, and what really threw me off was, on our agenda here, it says renovation of pool house. And when I drove by, I'm like, where's the pool house? So there is no pool house.
No, there's no pool house.
Yeah,
So it's a
but-
renovation to the house, and it's a new pool house.
Right, but in our agenda, it says addition
Well,
and renovation of pool house, so that's what threw me off.
Oh,
I
yes.
thought, I'm looking for the pool house, and I'm like, there's not a pool, and there's not a pool house. and-
Correct.
But I don't think that's their fault.
No, I'm not saying it
Yeah, no,
is,
no,
I'm
I
just saying, when I drove
understand.
by,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
quite
no.
confused,
Yeah.
so.
It's a handgun.
So in this case, we wouldn't require a detailed list of colors and,
No, because it's still there.
but it's being,
It's the same.
so the entire house, colors, the whole bit is being
That's the color of the house.
Replicated. Yeah.
replicated.
Yes.
They're not actually.
Yeah, because it's
Most of the house isn't being touched, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Are you gonna change the back windows to match the front? Or I'm just curious.
Correct. So along the back there, we have, it'll be new windows that would,
They have to
from
be
the kitchen.
black?
Excuse me? And they would be black to match what is on the front.
How about charcoal?
Well, they,
I guess.
Well,
it's too late for that now.
We want
Thanks
all
to
the
the building
windows.
department,
We
but
want-
yes.
We want the windows to look the same, yeah.
Right.
Hang on, okay, here's my confusion. In renovation of a pool house, but there's no existing pool house.
Where's the application where they say what they're doing? That's what I want. You hear that? Maybe.
Here's my issue is it's not really clear from your materials what you're doing here. Hang on. So you're extending the porch across the front,
Correct.
and in the back, what are you doing?
The back is along the back of the house. It's a 3-foot from the back of the house. It's coming out 3 feet along the back.
Okay.
So is the extension over the porch, front porch, going to be a flat roof, or are you?
No, we're extending the hip, just as you can see right here.
Wasn't clear, okay.
Yeah. So we're just extending the hip, keeping the hip roof and extending that out.
So you're bumping the back of the house out 3 feet
3 feet, correct,
across the,
across the back of the house.
Okay, and then you're adding
So
this pool house.
they claim in their application that construction of a front covered porch, addition and renovation of the house and pool house. And so I can see in the
How it got confused.
grammar, and pool house is confusing.
Yeah.
It should be, and construction
Of a new pool house.
That's right. Yeah, as it
Just
appears on your
say-
agenda is a summary
Okay.
prepared by the building
But
clerks. They
it's-
might have gotten confused from the
So
way that it's
then-
worded.
There should be details on materials and such. If the house is being added onto in the rear and a new porch, I'm sure will require additional exterior renovations or changes to make that happen.
Well, but,
No,
okay.
the siding isn't changing on the front of the house. The porch is just
It
going,
has a roof.
But if the roof is changing,
but it'd be
It's just getting wider, is that correct?
Correct.
he's changing the roof line.
Yes, but color isn't changing, right?
I'm just saying, to be consistent with every other proposal that comes before this board, that's what we ask for, so. If it's just
I'm
a,
not-
So we're-
if this is all just a change in kind, then we shouldn't be even talking about this.
It's not in kind, it's in size, I would say, for the roof.
correct.
But he's said that it will all match.
It's the same,
What
right.
people say, what people do, as we know,
Well, they can repeat it, but put it on the page.
it should be detailed for approval.
You know what? It's funny because I don't know that I have a whole lot of objections to what we're trying to do. The only objection to I have is your materials don't really detail as much as they should what you're actually doing.
So what's on the
Because-
house right now is a hardy plank.
No. When you're talking about existing, renovated, so I have, what I think you're doing is extending the roof to the right in your west elevation. What I think you're doing is pulling the roof all the way across to create a covered porch that goes all the way across to the right of the front door and that 3 gang of windows to the edge of the patio to cover the patio, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then when you build that new roof, you're going to put roofing material that's going to match what the existing is, which is gray. So
Correct.
you're pulling this all the way over, but you're making me work really hard to figure out what you're doing, sir. Okay, and then in the back, what you're doing, are you pushing out the back?
They're pushing out the back, 3 feet.
Therefore, there will be new materials and new
Yeah.
finishes.
And that is all asphalt.
What I'm going to tell you is, there's nothing in these materials that actually show me what you're doing. Nothing shows existing, nothing shows new. I see a new powder room, but it's hard to tell that what your materials, the way you've presented them, what you're actually doing. I don't know that we have an objection to what you're doing. The objection we have is your
Exactly.
materials are not clear.
That's my issue. It's not about the design at all.
Yeah, because I think it's a good-looking house. I think what you're trying to do is good, but I think your materials are not clear to people trying to figure out what it is you're trying to build.
Well, right here, that's why I hatched in the roof area that is new. If you can see, this is the existing house, that's the existing roof line, and this area here is the new asphalt shingle roof.
Yeah, I think we all understand that. I think that the issue is really just having a detail for the portions that are being changed, including, I guess, in the back of the house, there'll be new windows as well.
Yeah.
To have the list of all the details of the finishes, colors, and so forth, that will be part of that renovation, addition, whatever you want to call it, which is the same thing we ask for every proposal that comes before us.
We're matching existing.
I understand that, but for the
But
record, for an approved plan, we need that in writing as a part of the document.
Can you just list it on the plan?
Sure, I can listen to that.
That's it.
So, oops, sorry.
All right.
So how is this
Other than
gonna
that, I mean, from my
how is
perspective, the
this
design
gonna
is
be
fine.
cured? Huh? Let's move
Like, for
along.
example, what does the front door look like? Is it glass?
No, it's a solid door.
Okay. Is it the existing solid door, or you're putting a new one in?
We're putting a new solid door in.
Oh.
Again, those are the kinds of
But
things.
that's in kind, there's a solid door there now.
That's.
No,
that's-
that you have to be more specific.
As far as the solid door?
I mean,
Yes, sir.
it's just a request for just a list of all the new materials, new colors and so forth that will be part of the renovation. That's it.
Or you write to match existing, right? But if you're moving the door and putting.
Well, it says it
in
on the
different-
drawing,
It
to
does?
match it, yeah, I mean, it's,
Oh, it
yeah,
does?
take your glasses
Yeah.
out, it's here
It's so
on all of them,
tiny.
I mean.
It says
Well,
here,
I mean, it's
new
written
roof to match
though,
existing
right here.
asphalt shingle roof.
It's here, it's everywhere.
Okay, well then
I mean-
I don't have a quarrel with it then.
But it also usually says what existing is.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right,
Like
So
that's,
they need to say
that's
like,
what the plans usually
Yeah, yeah.
say.
right,
Well, it does it says asphalt shingles.
right.
what color. We
Right.
actually have
This is not a
people
difficult
who
thing
come
we're
here
asking for.
and they tell us
I
it's
think what you're
asphalt.
hearing is we look at plans all the time, and the way
Yeah.
you present it is not
Right.
actually clear as to what your plans, what you're doing, so we're
It
trying to
needs
help
be
you here. But,
totally specific.
because like, if you've got a door here and you're replacing it with the door, it has to say, replacing door to match existing. All these things need to be on the plan, and I think they're not. So let's ask a few questions here. So your front door is to replace, to match existing.
Correct.
Okay, so make yourself a note, because you're gonna have to
Yep.
send me plans to say all this.
The roof part, he does say.
The roof part, yes. But what did? So then, because you've got in the gable that's over the gable that's over the left of the front side, which is currently a gable, where you have existing roofing to remain, you're actually moving that, you're widening that. It's no longer a gable, it's now a wide roof that has the two ends of which now in order to cover the porch, correct?
Correct. It's
Right.
there. But what I'm showing, though, in there is the existing, and what you're
Yes,
seeing is
but-
new. The hatch part.
Yes, but
is-
okay, but you see where you have line of existing to remain? Because like, I don't have a roof plan, it's, normally people give us like roof plans, or so we understand what it is you're actually building. Because as I see it now, that roof goes flat all the way across the front, so you're actually moving that existing line to the right, correct?
You mean the ridge?
This ridge line now goes over here, correct?
Right, that ridge line. There's a ridge line there now, yes, so it just comes up to the same line.
Right now, yes, but you're moving that ridge line, correct?
No, just extending that ridge line.
Over the new part.
Well, you say, well, you call it extending or moving it.
Right.
The one is there will no longer be there, and a new one will be farther to the right, correct?
Correct. Okay.
Okay. And in the rear elevation, see, normally, someone would show me a rear elevation that says what is to be removed, and then what is to replace it. And you've shown me a drawing of what you want to do, but you're removing 1, 2, 3, a series of windows all the way across the back. You're replacing it with 2 sets of sliders, 2 side lights, a gang of 4, and a single window. And what looks like what you say is existing, and I don't see that in the picture, is that over the garage?
It's over the garage. It's in the laundry room, mudroom.
Okay. Here's what I'm mostly going to tell you. I think you have to come back with more detailed drawings of what you're doing. I need to see existing. And here's the weird part is, help me here, Alice. I don't know that you're finding objection to what you want to do. What I'm finding objection to is, to be clear for the file, it's not clear from what you presented what you're actually doing.
Well, and there's nothing to hold you to what you're talking about, because it's not in the papers that we will eventually approve. And it sounds like a technicality, but these are the kinds of things that come back to bite the ARB in the rear end.
Yeah, how do we know it's existing if it's gone?
We've had some switcheroos.
Some, a lot.
What we have here.
So it's easy, just do it.
Sure.
Show the existing, show what you're.
Well, it's dotted along here as the existing, and then it's in the plan, and then it shows the addition on the back,
We just need the materials, please.
the material.
Yeah.
And what about, because they do.
And when you say gray, I mean,
It's the same gray that he.
It's
that
the
is
It's the
there.
gray that's on the house now.
I understand, it's just that there are so many shades of gray that are brought to our attention.
Yeah.
So it's Benjamin Moore Soot is the name of the
Okay,
color.
so I just would recommend that be part of what your submission is, because
Looks to me like you're under construction. Are you under construction now?
Yeah, it had been renovated for the,
So these pictures of the house looks as it looks now?
that's as it looks now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you living in this house?
No, not at this time.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to be.
I'm sure you would. And we'd like you to be. But
Can I ask a question?
We just need you to come
we
forward.
can't.
You
we
need
can't-
to
we can't-
identify yourself and come to the
You can come
mic.
over there if you want to.
I'm sorry. Thank you. This is my first time here, so.
That's okay.
It's okay, go for it.
This is when you get to, but this is when you get to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Gabriella Leff. I'm a co-owner of the house. We bought it a couple of years ago. I've been out here since 1968. My mom came out here and told my dad she was not leaving. And this is the first opportunity I've been able to afford a home. And I'd love to bring my daughter to school out here when we have a house that's finished. I guess my only question would be to you, in light of the detail that you're asking for, however, that you seem to be like kind of okay with the action that we want to take, would there be any way for you to approve conditionally that you receive within a certain time frame, like, a week or whatever, to get the material list, to give us some permission? In particular, I would ask for the wall push out. The financial burden of the waiting is making me anxious. And it happens to be a really good opportunity right now to do the work, because everyone's on vacation, and I'm trying to get it done before my neighbors have to deal with the house across the street. For 2 summers has been in construction, and it's just been really heinous in our neighborhood.
I know what that feels like.
I know. I actually know that house. Yes.
So and so what we're really trying to do is try and get as much done as we can in a timely manner, so that we're friendly with our neighbors now. I mean, we've been talking to them, we've made changes, we did all sorts of things, and just to be able to be done in time to not bug them. If we can move forward with that portion even just at this time, we can complete by mid-spring and not be trucks and dirt and noise ongoing. So, and also then I can go back and live in my house. But that was my only question, and I'm a little innocent to how you work here, but
that's fair.
I appreciate the concerns about it. I mean, I think my innocence is that It's like literally, yeah, I'm just pushing it out a little so I can get like a little kitchen island because
Right.
I cook every day. I don't order in, and I want to be able to have my daughter do homework while I'm sitting in the kitchen cooking. And it's just like, it's really like those kind of like ease of life. I don't want to go up.
No.
I don't want to block light anymore. We are probably the only house I think left on the block that has permission to go up, that didn't get it signed into their deed that they couldn't because a new house, a house that just sold down the street can't go up. And we just didn't want to. Like, I don't want to. I want to be in
No,
like, the neighborhood and keep it cool and calm.
I appreciate
So
all that.
anyway.
Let me, and I appreciate where you're at. The first house I renovated in Southampton was basically this house, and lived in it for 19 years. So I understand.
Amazing.
I did exactly what you're doing. I made the kitchen bigger. So I understand where you're coming from. What we have to understand is, from what is in the file, is it evident from what's in the file and obvious of what's in the file what is going to happen? So if the builder changed their mind, if they added windows that weren't approved, if anything
My wife
happened,
will kill
we
them.
would have a complete written record of what is expected.
Right. I do understand
So-
that, and I
so let
respect
me,
it as well.
But like your question, let me throw the question to my counsel.
Maybe Sean can do this right now.
Or
Um,
if it's acceptable to the board, we've also had cases where applicants have dropped off plans at the building department for signature with any small amendments that the board has asked for.
Okay,
So we have.
But aren't there a lot of details missing on this one?
But hang on, I think there's a midpoint here. The midpoint is this. Let's talk about drawings aside. Are there any concerns about what they're actually doing?
No. I don't have any.
No.
Okay, John?
Well, as long as how do we know the drawings on the rear don't have like a wall of windows going across the?
Well,
There is a risk.
But in,
There are renderings.
okay, Susan,
But I don't have
Susan,
those.
stop. From
No,
basic,
I'm allowed to
basic,
talk.
I
That
know,
has
but
to stop.
based on what you're seeing from the drawings, Susan, don't leave.
No, I'm not gonna be told no. Everyone has a chance to talk here, Mark.
Okay, based on what you're seeing, John,
Yes.
in the drawings, do you have any objection to what you see? Because what
No.
I think I'm going to do is find a midpoint here.
That's fine, as long as we don't set a precedent for others in the future. That is
No.
my biggest concern.
What I'm going to, because
That
I
we
actually,
allowed this to happen,
but I actually think what
therefore-
we're going to do
I
is
understand.
follow Alex's suggestion, and we're going to approve in principle what you want to do, or vote to, if people vote to do it, with the stipulation that you bring back complete drawings showing existing, what is to be renovated, complete colors. Because the next thing that happens if we approve this in principle is when we go in to look at the drawings and sign off on them, I have to look at the plans. So if the plans aren't there, we just won't sign off. And if we don't sign off, then you won't get a building permit. Then you won't get a building permit. Yeah. Does that work?
Yeah, and that way everyone's accountable. That's
Yeah.
my issue.
And then
Accountability.
as one we see,
I have
yes,
no trouble
exactly.
being accountable.
So we see, yeah. Okay.
So you
So
want
are there
existing
any?
plans and elevations?
I want plans and elevations of existing
Yep.
and proposed,
And
with
proposed.
full materials marked.
Okay,
Like soot, whole 9 yards.
okay.
And I think what's sometimes helpful to the board is to show the existing and proposed of the same elevation side by side on the
Sure.
same
Yep.
page.
Got it. I understand.
Are there any comments from the public?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to move then that we approve the plans for 60 Breeze Lane dated 7/17/2024 with the stipulation that full drawings are delivered to the building department showing existing, a demo plan, and final drawings of the building with all materials marked on the drawings. And when do you think you can have that?
Got all that?
By Friday.
Okay.
Wow.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so that takes us to 13 Meadowgrass. If you'll state your name, please.
Good evening, Board. My name is Christopher Urbis. I'm with Island Pine Drafting and Design, and the project I'm here representing is 13 Meadowgrass Lane.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Say this. The owner Brian Hayes should be on a Zoom call if necessary for you guys.
Can you say your last name again, please?
It's Erbis, E-R-B-I-S.
Okay. Mark, I have the affidavits in there in order.
Great, thank you.
Okay, for this project, and what we're doing is a 137 square foot addition to the first floor. We're just making, you can't hear me? We're just enlarging our bedroom and adding a full bath on the first floor. In doing that, we're, in the front, there's a front entrance to the bedroom there was. And we're getting rid of that and just replacing it with 2 windows in the front. The pitch of the roof was a 612. Because we're extending it out 8.5 feet, the pitch is going to change to a 412. The shingles, I know you don't want to hear this, but they're going to be the same as the house. Yeah, so they're going to be white cedar shakes. It's all going to match the existing, the same with the asphalt roof. This is just the one section. It's getting torn out. It's a 612. It's going to be a 412, so that one section is going to match the... On the elevations, you do see the proposed and existing next to each other. So if that helps.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that actually helps, yes.
Yeah. I
Can
tried
actually
to
see
follow
what
the
you're
list to T, so I don't do a lot of work out in the village, so.
Saves time for everybody.
So you're just actually pushing part of the house forward?
Yeah, 8.5 feet forward, yeah.
And then the new roof will match the existing, and the windows where it says new window, will they match existing?
Correct.
Okay, you're not
Yeah, there's a window schedule on
Yep.
drawing 82.
Board members?
Fine with me.
No issues.
Yep.
Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, so motion to approve the drawings, the plans for 13 Meadowgrass Lane from drawings dated, there's a date drawing here, stamp date?
October 18th?
Is it, are they on here somewhere?
Yeah, it should be
10, 18,
Here we are.
24.
Here we are, from drawings dated
Did you make
10/18/24.
that any smaller?
I agree,
Good.
I agree.
These are 11 by 17s, these are tough.
Is the font on the checklist?
Okay, so motion to approve 13 Meadowgrass based on drawings submitted to the building department, or drawings dated 10/18/24. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, happy holidays.
Same to you, my friend. Next up is 140 Breeze Lane.
Whoa. Where are they?
Yeah, thanks.
Is there a Zoom? Oh, you're here. I didn't see you, Lisa.
You didn't see these issues?
Lisa, are you on Zoom?
I don't know what you were doing.
She's very demure and, you know.
You're a hologram.
I feel like I should be singing.
I have the
You
affidavits
always
in there in
last.
order.
Do you ever notice that?
I think
You're
I'm always racing around to get it
amazing.
done.
At least you're not all this time for a gate, like last time.
I know, right?
You must have been last in childhood, too, if you're last
I am,
name.
actually.
Okay, 140 Breeze Lane, go. Please introduce yourself and spell your last name for the record.
Lisa Zaloga, the architect for the Hollands at 140 Breeze Lane, Zaloga.
Great.
So this is, there's an existing residence at 140 Breeze Lane. There's a lot of construction going on Breeze Lane.
Oh my God. And across the
And
street.
so this is a pre-existing residence, and there are the majority of the changes, I am relocating a couple windows here and there, but the majority of the change that I think would be most interested in is the front of the house. It currently has 5 doghouse dormers that go across the front. And the goal is to make the bedrooms, you know, more usable. Those little doghouse dormers don't really give you much. So we're gonna combine the two outer dormers and make them a bigger dormer. And then we're gonna put a front porch on the front of the house there for part of that. In the back of the house, you can see there were two windows, pair of windows on the shed dormer. We're gonna make those triples and enlarge the doors that go into the living room. And we converted this bedroom here into also part of the living room, so we put doors there as well. I'm keeping the front door. I think all the materials are called out.
Thank you.
But I mean, those are the primary, a couple of windows here and there have moved around, but nothing overly drastic.
And
Lisa, can
you sort of
flip
pushed
those
out a
down
shed.
Towards you?
Oh.
Just so, thanks.
Yeah,
They changed it.
Every meeting it's different.
And I watched him do that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Sage is finally, it's all worked out. This is better for you guys because now you can see them too.
Now we can look at it? Okay, what was that?
And you pushed a shed out to connect all these, the roof?
I did what?
On the west elevation where you're connecting all your dormers,
Uh-huh.
you've actually pushed almost a shed out. or
Oh, yeah,
Pushed a little
I'm
shed
con-
out to
yeah, I'm
increase the roof.
connecting, yeah, it stepped back from them, from the gables, but yes.
Why not just do a shed dormer
Um,
to mimic the what you're doing on the back of the house?
yeah, well, that's a shed dormer that exists. I mean, I don't need it, like, this little dormer that's in the middle here, I wasn't really trying to mess with, because that's in the cathedral over the front door. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't really need it.
Well, I just, what you're designing here, for me, isn't typical of the neighborhood or the houses in the village. It just seems strange to have a dormer at this big gap, a dormer, gap, dormer. It just doesn't, it looks odd to me. And I think it could completely be resolved by,
Just turning it into one big shed.
I just think it would, it looks much better than the 5 dormers, I'll tell you that for sure. Yeah, it's like
What did you describe those as? Doghouse dormers?
dormers?
Doghouse dormers?
doghouse.
Yeah, they're so narrow, you can't,
Yeah.
there's no point to them, really. It's like ridiculous.
They're everywhere after.
Yeah, I know, they're so small. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, the shed, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of I don't really like it on the back either, just it just seems boring, but,
I just think this is awkward looking.
yeah.
I think it's a little awkward, but once you put the porch in front of it, I don't mind it so much. I don't mind it.
I think you're gonna read the 3 dormers. The shed dormers kind of tend to disappear because it's stepped back.
So what are the panels on both sides of the center dormer? Is that
The white.
shingled? Is that?
Oh, yeah, that's wall shingles, yeah.
It's just wall shingles.
Yeah, yeah, it's just stepped back. I mean, it's just, I can't, I can't really put windows in
Right,
there.
right.
Because, it doesn't really work with anything, so.
Maybe that'll make the difference then.
I think it just disappeared.
I think
thought you were-
in the drawing it looks like stucco.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you were creating
No,
one.
I didn't shingle any of the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just shingled walls.
Still, I think it's a bit odd, but, okay. All the houses on this street are pretty odd.
Well, now.
Jane, Kathy?
Transformed.
Yeah, there's so
I
much
mean, if
construction.
anything, it is an improvement to the 5, so it's better than it was. I just had a question, because I went by today, and the whole backyard is full of...
We're putting in a pool.
Okay. Because the house next door is being worked on,
I
and
Yeah, it's a,
I know.
it was very interesting to see, like, it looked
Construction
like
zone.
they took their soil and put them in 140's yard.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of soil being removed from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the east, you're taking your 4 gang and making them bigger, sliding doors.
Yep.
You're taking your double gang to the left of the 4 gang and making a 2 gang slider.
Mm-hmm.
You are taking doubles and making the triples overhead for more light. You're moving a door on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
On the south elevation, you're adding a fireplace to match existing,
Mm-hmm.
and all the materials will match existing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just getting it all on the record. I guess my only comment was, Because there's a shed dormer everywhere else, I think a shed would be cleaner across the front, but it's
Yeah.
not the hill to die on for me.
I agree with you.
Are there any comments from the public?
Wow.
Yeah, that
public.
public's been so talkative
Gotta
tonight.
beat 'em off.
All right, I think a shed would look better, but for me, it's not the hill to die on, so I'm gonna do this. Motion to approve the drawings for, where am I at?
140 Breeze.
140 Breeze from drawing stamped in December 5th, 2024, dated 11/6/2024. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The shed would give them more potential for light as well
Yeah.
on that second floor.
I'll mention it to him, I'll mention it to him, and I guess I would come back.
A shed would look more typical.
For a small revision.
It would look more typical, well, it's not, wouldn't be that, you could leave out the interior framing of it, but it'd be more typical for the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I'll mention it to him, see what they have to say.
All right, so that's it. Some motion to close the December 9th meeting of the Board of Architecture Review and Historic Preservation. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll see you January.